Hello and welcome to your Advective weather update for February 27th, 2023. Let's jump right into it. We have a lot to talk about. Currently, severe storms are ongoing across Indiana and Ohio with a slight risk currently in place. We have winter weather alerts in place stretching all the way from Wisconsin into the Northeast. Numerous winter storm warnings going up as we speak. And we also have a system battering California at this time. Blizzard warnings in place in more mountainous regions. We'll be going over all of that and more throughout this weather update. This is going to be split into three different chapters. One on the system currently moving through and heading through the Midwestern and Northeastern U.S. The second chapter, which will be brief, will be on the systems hitting California, and the third and final chapter on the major system expected to traverse the United States here in the next week or so, with major severe weather, flooding, and winter weather threats all associated with it. So let's get right into it. This is the overview for today. You'll notice the system hitting California, more on that in a bit, and you'll also notice that slight risk of severe weather stretching all the way from Illinois to Ohio at the time of this graphic. That has been shrunk up a bit. We'll be talking about that shortly. That cold front stretching all the way down through Louisiana into Texas with mixed precipitation there in Wisconsin, Michigan, Minnesota, and north of there, snow, some heavy at times occurring as well. So a lot going on currently, and a lot more is going to be going on over the next week. Let's talk about the severe weather threat. A slight risk, level 2 out of 5, is in place for most of the state of Ohio. Big cities like Columbus, Cincinnati, and Dayton, as well as Xenia, all within that level 2 out of 5. That's primarily for wind and tornadoes. Not much of a threat there for large hail. The level 1 out of 5 the same way. Marginal risk, so relatively low. You should still be weather aware, however. And again, that's going to be for wind and tornadoes, not so much the hail threat. Tornado watches are currently in place, so remain weather aware if in or around those watch areas or in these severe weather threats. Let's talk about the snow with this. We're going to be seeing 8 to 12 inches in some spots, maybe even locally higher, especially in those darker orange areas, with the bluish areas getting anywhere from about an inch to 6 inches. And you can see there in more detail as you look at that map what places exactly are expected to get what in terms of snowfall. That's going to change a bit with time, but this is all the way through Wednesday when we're going to be seeing the snow moving through the northeastern United States. Let's talk about the flooding threat briefly here, stretching all the way from the Chicago metro into parts of Pennsylvania and West Virginia. If within that marginal risk, your flash flooding threat is minimal, but not zero. So make sure that you're watching out and making sure you know what to do in the event of flash flooding. All right, let's take a look at a weather model here. You can see that severe weather threat breaking down overnight tonight, and we'll be seeing that snow moving into the northeast here. And that's going to be the major story as we head into Tuesday. And as we head through Tuesday, you'll continue to see that snow moving through the northeast, and it'll really be getting out of the northeast by the time we head into Friday morning. But places like Maine could see snow lingering quite a bit into the overnight hours as we head into Wednesday. All right, let's now talk about the second chapter of this video. That is the West Coast winter storms that are going to be battering California. 4 to 7 feet of snowfall on top of what's already happened or possible in the high Sierra Mountains. So it's very important that we continue to cover this threat, as it looks like California isn't going to be getting a break. Widespread extreme impacts expected there. A series of storm systems will continue moving across the Pacific Northwest into California through Wednesday, with unusually cold temperatures making for lower than normal snow levels. Mountains from southern Oregon to central California will see the greatest impacts, with heavy snow rates in excess of 2 inches per hour and at times additional snowfall of 4 to 7 feet along the Sierra Nevada. Combined with high winds, blizzard conditions, and dangerous to impossible travel are expected. If you plan to travel by road at elevations above 1,000 feet through the West Coast states, be prepared for rapidly changing conditions and have winter driving supplies. Heavy snow will make it as far east as the Colorado Rockies and as far south as northern Arizona, where hazardous travel conditions are expected Tuesday and Wednesday. Let's take a look at a weather model now. This is what we're expecting. So this is heading into tomorrow. You'll notice that snow still occurring there over the Sierra Nevadas, and then we have more moisture just pumping in there from the West Coast as we head into the afternoon and overnight hours. This is around 4 or 5 p.m. Tomorrow, and we just continue to see snow absolutely battering the place, and that snow continues to move through all the way through Wednesday before things finally look like they calm down as the system does begin to better materialize in the Rockies. That same system is the system that's going to get into our third chapter of this video. That is the major system that's going to traverse across the rest of the U.S. That's the same system battering California. So this system is going to materialize a bit better, bringing a lot of snow to the four corners with a rather defined arc of snow as well. Marginal severe weather threat on Wednesday with this, before on Thursday we have the major severe weather episode possible across the southern U.S. with snow and winter weather occurring across the Midwest and Northeast. And then into Friday we continue to see severe weather south of this low pressure system and winter weather to the the north. So this is going to be a rather robust and potent system as time goes on. We'll continue to take a look at it and track you through it. So let's go day by day. We can't talk much about the winter weather stuff. We don't have high confidence on who's going to get impacted and how much they can expect, but we do have confidence in the severe weather and flooding threats. Let's get started with the severe weather. Stretching all the way from Dallas to Atlanta and from Nashville to Montgomery there, you'll notice that rather large level 1 out of 5 severe risk. So big cities like Little Rock, Shreveport, Memphis, Birmingham, Jackson, Tupelo, Huntsville, Birmingham, all within that level 1 out of 5 marginal risk for severe weather. I anticipate all hazards will be possible with this, although again, this isn't going to be a particularly major day for severe weather, but it will be the first day of a 3-day stretch of severe weather the southern U.S. can expect. When it comes to the flooding threat, that's north of the severe weather threat. However, we're still expecting that to be of significance. So that's a slight risk, level 2 out of 4 there for most of the state of Tennessee with that marginal risk surrounding that. If you're in either of these risk areas, make sure that you are weather aware and you know what to do in flooding. This is going to change a bit as we head closer to the day of the forecast. We can say the same of the severe weather risks and flood risks that remain throughout this video. Let's talk about the severe weather risk for Thursday. This is a big day. At least that's what it looks like right now. We'll see if it ends up being that way, but we have a large level 3 out of 5 severe weather risk. That's in the orange for places like Little Rock, Shreveport, Jackson, Tupelo. So that's rather serious. Dallas-Fort Worth nearly within that level 2 out of 5 for Dallas, Houston, Lake Charles, New Orleans, Mobile, Montgomery, Huntsville, Memphis. Now, it's rare to see a level 3 out of 5 beyond the 3-day period. And when you do see it, most of the time, the Storm Prediction Center has a bit of a forecast discussion that lets you know what's going on. In this case, they say there's a possibility of a widespread severe weather outbreak occurring. As a result of that, we have to take this with extra seriousness, as the odds this gets upgraded to a level 4 out of 5 or 5 out of 5 with time is higher than usual. Does that mean it'll happen? No, it doesn't, but that means it's definitely possible, so we're going to keep a close eye on this. We saw what happened last night with that level 4 out of 5 risk, producing a strong tornado near Norman and significant winds over 110 miles per hour in parts of Texas and Oklahoma. So very serious situation this could end up being. We don't know that yet, but it's looking like it could be as of now. So we head into the flooding threat. You'll notice there Little Rock heading into the boot heel of Missouri, as well as southern Illinois heading into Kentucky, places like Memphis, Tennessee, Paducah, Kentucky, within that slight risk for flash flooding, level 2 out of 5 or 4. And then we also have that marginal risk there, places like St. Louis, Springfield, Tulsa, Oklahoma, all within that level 1 out of 4 risk. Let's talk about Friday. This is the final of the 3-day stretch of significant severe weather that we're currently expecting, and you'll notice there that stretches from Birmingham off the East Coast. Most of the states of Georgia and South Carolina are within that risk, level 2 out of 5. And we also have Birmingham, Montgomery, Huntsville, Knoxville, Greensboro, Charlotte, all just outside of or within that level 2 out of 5 as well. So this is a serious, widespread situation over multiple days that we're going to have to continue to watch. And while the flood threat is less than the past couple of days, it is still not zero, with a marginal risk stretching through Indiana, through Ohio, into Pennsylvania. So make sure you're staying weather aware there. Well, here's how you can prepare. Here's the storm planning timeline. We're currently a few days out from the severe weather, so you need to make sure you have your emergency supplies, know your safe places, and have a family communication plan. When the day before comes around, make sure that you're staying weather aware. You can go to a video of ours or spc.noaa.gov in order to find out your severe threat. You can adjust your plans, make sure you can receive weather alerts, and then on the day of, you need to make sure that you know your action plan, your family knows your action plan, and when a warning is issued, you know how to take action. As we get into making a plan, you can go to ready.gov/make-a-plan for more information on how to make a plan, not just for severe weather, but winter weather, flooding, and things like that as well. So again, that's ready.gov/make-a-plan. And finally, here's what you can do if you're in a winter storm. If you're caught outdoors in a winter storm, find shelter, cover exposed body parts, melt snow for drinking water, and exercise. This is going to make sure that you remain warm, you don't get dangerously cold, and make sure that you get to shelter safely. And if you're in ice and snow, take it slow. That basically means be careful when you're on the road. It can be very easy for your vehicle to slide around, so keep it slow, don't use cruise control, and keep extra distance between you and other vehicles. When it comes to flooding, here's what you can do. Prepare for flooding before it happens. If you're in a floodplain, make sure you know the best way to get to higher ground. Secure your important documents so they don't get flooded, and figure out what roads nearby are most likely to flood. And when it comes to flood safety, if you're in a flash flood warning, you want to get to higher ground, don't drive into water, and remain informed. Well, thank you so much for watching this video. We do hope it was useful and informative. We'll have another one coming out tomorrow, and we'll have daily videos until this weather threat passes. After this, we're hoping the weather will calm down a bit, but we'll just have to see. You can also join our Discord server where we'll be talking about the severe weather, winter weather, fire weather, as well as flooding that is currently expected with the system in more detail, and you can interact with our community and ask us questions as well. Thank you so much for watching. We'll see you tomorrow.